My name is 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗚 here. I'm a quantum health coach, and I help entrepreneurs to overcome overwhelm and stress to create unstoppable energy and emotional clarity so they can create the life that they want. I'm a stage 3 bowel cancer survivor. I had cancer in 2018, and as a result of that, I changed everything in my life. And I help people to doing the same by changing their habits. So today I'm going to be talking about relationships and a diagnosis of like some sort of chronic disease, and I think this is a really important subject because things are going to change quite a bit if you are in a relationship. Things are going to change, I believe, everywhere, because you can't go through this tunnel of going through something so extreme and so serious, and sometimes you can call it tragic, and come out as the same person, right? It's like I feel like my cancer journey has been like this whole caterpillar experience that I was squeezed and like prodded and like lots of different things happening for my transformation, and I came out as a butterfly. But obviously I wasn't alone. I am married, and yesterday I was married for 12 years. I've been together with my husband for 18 years, and we have 2 kids together. And that didn't only affected myself, but obviously affected my whole family. And especially given that it was 7.5 months of treatment, of my kids and my husband having to especially my husband to really be there for me all the time, and my kids to understand what was going on. They were only young, 6 and 4 at the time. But for me, it was very, very challenging, because for the first time in my life I had to rely on somebody. And for somebody who is like a type A personality, a doer, all go person, that was a very, very difficult part of the process for me. But I am truly blessed that my husband is the best husband in the world, that he was there to help me, and he did everything, and he was so supportive. But it did take a toll on him, right? Because it was 7.5 months. We don't have any family where we live, so it was him doing everything, looking after me, the kids, working, cooking, having to make the changes that I was pushing us to do, around like the eating and everything like that. So it was a lot. It was a lot for him. So if you are going through something like that, I'd really truly believe that it's important, for your support person, for your carer, to look for support outside of this situation as soon as they can. My husband didn't look for support until the end of the treatment, which, to be honest, it had been already a long time. For 7.5 months he was doing the whole thing on his own, and at the end of it, it was really hard on him, and he kind of collapsed. And I was still not in a position to give anything to him, because I was coming out of that treatment and going back to normal world. So I was still kind of trying to find my way. So I believe that it's really important that you strengthen yourself, and at the same time you encourage your partner to strengthen themselves in a separate way from you, because they will have their own struggles. They will go through their own things, their own doubts and fears and all of that. And I think that the earliest you do that, the better it is, because then you don't wait for, again, the crisis, the collapse, then the everything going downhill, right? And I am very blessed. We had an amazing relationship before, but during that process we changed a lot as individuals. I changed, he changed, and as a result of that, we became stronger together. Now, I know that there is lots of situations where you change and perhaps the other person, stay on the same place, and it becomes a bit hard. And, obviously I can't speak to that because that wasn't my case, but I want to really highlight, the fact that you can't go through something like that and be, and go back to being the same person as you were before. Like, this is why it's so hard to go back to normal world, because people that haven't gone through that, they don't understand that, going back, it's impossible because you are not the same person anymore. So if you are in a relationship, it's important to, stay patient and give the space and the time perhaps for your carer to, catch up, or perhaps for them to focus on themselves at some point in the journey, because they will need to. It's not something that, you can do. They will need to want to do this. They would need to really look for it and search for it, because it's their journey, and it's not something that I have never forced upon my husband. I made the changes as a result of my survival instinct, because I had to look after my physical health so tightly, and I had to be so focused on it. And then as a result of that, he noticed that I was getting some incredible results, and he was welcoming the changes, and we changed together on that one. And again, when I started exercising and he started noticing again the results, we started doing it together, and doing, things like the meditation. But then when it came to the emotional healing, I was doing my own thing, because I had my own traumas and things that I had to resolve and process, but he had his own stuff, and I couldn't tell him what to do. I couldn't force upon him, my ideas. He had to carve his own path, and I needed to allow him the space and the time to do that. And I think that is incredibly important for you to focus on your own lane, even when you are in a relationship. I truly believe that, if you want to make a change in the world, a change in your kids, a change in a relationship, you need to focus on you and live by example. Like my kids, they eat what we eat, not because I tell them to, but because that they see what we do. They like exercising because when they wake up in the morning, they already see me. I'm already awake and I'm already doing my exercise. So all of those things, I don't have to tell them what to do. They're watching and they are learning. And I found that the more I invested on myself, the more I filled my cup, the more I focus on my own a journey of healing, my own growth, the ripple effect was like incredible in all of my relationships. But today I'm talking about the really close relationships, your family unit. It was a game changer, my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my kids as well. But when I'm talking about the care, I think it's really important to encourage, if you do have somebody that it's taking there's lack of, especially when you have kids, doing everything and, having to keep everything running while you're recovering from some sort of diagnosis or, some sort of illness or some sort of, crisis, that you give that person, the space and the time to catch up with their own path of healing as well. I really hope this is helpful. If you think that, somebody would benefit from listening to this video, please forward it, to this person. I think this, again, like this whole cancer journey, and I would say any diagnosis, it can be quite lonely, not only for you as the patient, but for the carer as well. And, and the carer is trying their best to stay strong and to do everything, but they're also human beings, and at some point they can't just keep pushing and being strong all the time. So it can be lonely for them too. So I think it's really important to share this message with somebody that, it might be going through something like that. If you like the channel, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss out on the next video. And if you are in a place where, you feel that you are ready and committed to changing your habits, physically, emotionally, to start creating unstoppable energy, emotional clarity and resilience, in changing your life, just like I did by changing your habits, so you can feel this ripple effect, in all your relationships and in different areas of your life, book a call. There's a link below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's have a chat and see if we can connect and if I can help you. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.